Alright, and welcome back to another episode of DeathStryke Media's Force Friday show. It's Friday, we're talking Star Wars, and guess what? I'm back! I'm back! That's right, I am back. So congratulations to my wife. She gave birth to a wonderful little girl. She's amazing, she's happy, she's healthy.
Adorable.
And adorable, and I won't say I'm free to do the show now, but I can do this show now, which is a good step forward, and I love my wife to death. Thank you so much for letting me do this. Now, joining me on the panel is the same guys you've been seeing last 2 weeks. We've got James Armstrong at the very end. How you doing, James?
I'm doing quite well.
Excellent, excellent. Stuck smack into this James sandwich, we've got Sean Sharp. How you doing?
Better than I deserve, of course.
Always better than he deserves, every week to week, so we never know. I just want to give a quick shout out to those affected by Hurricane Harvey, and now soon going to be Hurricane Irma, and then Jose. So guys in Florida, prepare. Be nice to everybody. No looting, please. That's all I gotta say about that. Be safe.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
And ain't nobody got time for that. But if you're new to the show, welcome. And if you're a returning patron of ours, welcome back. How the show usually works is we have a few Star Wars stories, and we simply run them down and talk about them. And we have a visitor.
Yeah. Special guest.
Special guest.
He's also adorable.
My son. You might hear it in the background. That's kind of what happens. So, first up, we're gonna. Sorry about that interruption. You know how kids are. Again, we have some Star Wars stories. We're gonna simply run them down and talk about them. Up first, we have some interesting news that comes out of Lucasfilm, officially Lucasfilm news. It is the departure of the Episode 9 director Collin Trevorrow. I won't say I saw this coming, but you know, we've had a lot of directors sort of being let go with Lucasfilm, even in Disney as a whole. They've been kind of letting directors in and out, and apparently Collin Trevorrow is no exception to those rules. I am happy though that we are at this point not doing the Han Solo treatment, where we're pretty much done with principal photography, and out goes the director. However, that being said, nice, I got a surprise lightsaber! With that being said, Lucasfilm did put out an official statement. Their statement was, Lucasfilm and Colin Trevorrow exactly, have mutually chosen to part ways on Star Wars Episode 9. Colin has been wonderful collaborator throughout the development process, but we all have to come to the conclusion that our visions for the project differ. We wish Colin the best, and we will be sharing more information about this soon. Now, with that being said, it is unfortunate that he got let go. However, he's a very good friend of Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm feeling he might be back on another smaller project or be involved some way in the Lucasfilm Disney Empire, the House of Mouse, if you will. Now, with that being said, James, let's stick them with you. What do you think about them separating from Collin Trevorrow this early in the process? And who would you pick to direct Episode 9?
Oh, gosh. Well, as far as how I feel, I'm glad they got it done now as opposed to later.
Yeah.
I mean, they just looked ahead of the curve and thought that his script or his story wasn't gelling, so I'm all in favor of that. A separate point I would make is just that I think this might be the end of Disney's habit of trying to pick up new upcoming talent and giving them these big projects, because both Rian Johnson and Collin Trevorrow were very new to the scene. The biggest movie Rian Johnson had made was Looper. Collin Trevorrow obviously had massive success with Jurassic World, but can they be trusted to do these big projects? So hopefully they'll be picking more tenured people from now on. Maybe they'll bring in Ron Howard.
That's a blaster, buddy.
Is your son gonna shoot me?
He might. Oh, no. He might. He's a stormtrooper in training, which means he will miss everything.
Oh, there we go. Well, I feel better about that. Yeah. Like, I got the dad attacking me with a lightsaber, and I got the son trying to shoot me.
Surprise lightsaber!
That's why I'm here in the middle.
Yeah. Sean is here to protect me.
No. You're on your own, right?
But I don't know. It's like. Wait, want to give me the gun?
Yeah.
So I would give Ron Howard. Oh, Star Wars gun too. Okay, nice. Well, now I want one.
Yeah, exactly. Pew 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 pew.
Yeah. But I would actually consider Ron Howard, because I don't think he's going to get a real director's credit for the Han Solo movie. I feel like he should get a big movie under his belt. Oh, you got to cock that gun, I see.
Why did you cock it and then give it to him? We were safe up until that point.
Again, stormtrooper in training, he will miss every time.
Say so.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah.
So my first vote would be for Ron Howard, and if not, Rian Johnson. Keep it in continuity.
We'll get to that later, but yes, I think you're right. I think a director of that caliber would be good, you know. But at the same time, I don't think bringing in Ron Howard on another Star Wars property is a good idea. Sean, what are your thoughts on one, the parting of Collin Trevorrow this early, and thoughts on maybe a new director?
Once again, it harkens back to the discussion that we had about the how they run things, like the showrunners argument, the committee that runs things versus
the
story group versus the independent, minded director who wants more creative control.
Right.
If anything, this seems like that same symptom reappearing. Now, of course, they're using the Hollywood speak of they left on good terms,
right,
which is probably true.
This early in the process,
this early,
probably true.
Yeah. I'm sure he walked away with a nice little package going, shut up, get out. As for the issues, like, I actually have to take exception with you saying, not Ron Howard, because one, I really like his work, and two, he is that tenured voice that you were referring to, and he's already working on another film.
Right, and so is Rian Johnson, though.
So, yeah, I mean, he's like my number two guy, or actually kind of parallel. I like them both.
Sure, I'm not saying that he's not a good director. I'm not saying Ron Howard's not a good director. But at the same time, I feel like he came in as an emergency sort of director, and it's just like, I don't think we should be doing that. But at the same time, it is what it is. Hey, Emery, come here. Anyway, but with that being said, my thoughts on it are, I think they're parting ways at the right time.
Right.
Again, they don't want to do the Han Solo treatment or the Rogue One treatment. They had to have massive reshoots later on and extend that project longer than necessary. But if they can have a director who they can trust come in and then have it so everything's done, kind of like how Rian Johnson's done with Episode 8, where there's no bad press. We've had excellent things come out of that department. So if they can do that, I think all would be good. But at the same time, I kind of feel bad that, Collin Trevorrow got let go without having to work on a Star Wars film. But to each their own.
I don't know. I don't feel too bad about it. Because, again, it's better to do these things early, as everyone here is in agreement on. It's one of those things of he will still be part of the mythos and lore.
Right.
As you said, he'll probably get picked for some future project.
Yeah. I'd imagine that we're going to have lots of opportunities for Collin Trevorrow to work on something Star Wars related down the road. Maybe it's like a live action animation TV series, or another, maybe it could be a co-producer on an animated series with Dave Filoni. Who knows? Who knows? So, but we're going to keep it in the same vein as the previous story there. We're going to run with the rumor mill is running, folks. Yes, as all things are considered. With the high-level producer leaving, of course, who's going to be the next director? We just speculated on. However, one frontrunner has already made its appearance, and that would be none other than Episode 8 director Rian Johnson, according to Deadline. According to Deadline, he is the #1 pick thus far. They go on to say that. Let's see here. The Looper Helmer seamlessly fit into the Lucasfilm machine, which is no small feat, given the number of Star Wars star directors who have been chewed up and spat out under the creative differences line exiting Star Wars movies. Now, I think that's true, and I would put all of my money on Rian Johnson returning to be the Episode 9 director. At this point in time, because of all the work that he's put into and all the positive feeds that we've had going into Episode 8, they have no price for reshoots, massive editing, stuff like that. And I think he's written enough of the script for 9 to play out that he wants, where Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy can go, we want you, I don't care what projects you're working on, we'll pay you to be here more, just so you can finish this trilogy up. James, what are your thoughts on Rian Johnson returning for Episode 9?
Yeah, it was curious to see his name floated already in the first trade reaction to the firing. It kind of reminded me when Ben Affleck dropped out of directing the Batman, and they immediately, in that main story, said, hey, this guy named Matt Reeves is someone they're looking into.
And then all of a sudden he's like the guy.
Then suddenly he's the front runner. So I think that's a subtle hint from those in power that, Rian Johnson's our good fallback, he'd be a safe choice, and it would just keep everyone calm and cool and collected until The Last Jedi comes out.
I think so too.
I think that's the thing. It's also the issue of, they've already gone through a period with the Han Solo film of indecision and people worrying. Like, I'm sure that, people on the board were going, why is this even happening?
Right.
I think that this whole thing is to get out in front of it and already start floating, peppering the mill a little bit, since we're talking about rumor mill.
Absolutely.
With a certain name, so everyone can get psyched again without focusing on they dropped yet another director.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And from a selfish point of view, not a certain point of view, but from a selfish point of view, I want Rian Johnson to be the guy to direct, mainly because I missed the opportunity to meet him when I was at Celebration. That was the line I would not wait in. He came through and signed something from everybody in line who was waiting overnight for the Last Jedi panel. He signed something for everybody. That was like at midnight. He probably didn't get done until like 2 in the morning, and then had a panel at 10 a.m. that morning. I missed it because I'm a lazy fool and decided to sleep in. Missed the opportunity, 1, to meet Rian Johnson, and 2, have something signed by him. So I hope he comes back.
Didn't he also like walk past you at some point, but you didn't recognize him at first?
No, that was Harrison Ford.
What?
That was Harrison Ford.
You didn't recognize
George
Harrison Ford and George Lucas?
I didn't see them directly. They were kind of cornered to me about 25 feet in front of me.
You do know, just by uttering that line, there are people like already hissing on the other side.
Oh, that's totally fine. You know, if you've been to any sort of major convention, there's billions of people there, so you sometimes don't have a direct line of sight of someone famous.
Oh no, it's just one of those weird things.
Yeah.
It's almost like a diner joke. Harrison Ford and George Lucas walk into a diner.
Exactly, and I missed the opportunity. Like, they were just walking the show floor without
no security.
No, nothing. They're just shooting shit, and no one really. I mean, some people saw. They had a little bit. They had some security because I mean, it's Harrison Ford and George Lucas.
I would hope so.
But it wasn't like overly, high collars and like people in jackets. Not like Ashley Eckstein had security. That was fun security. Anyway. But yeah, no. Getting back to Rian Johnson directing episode 9, I hope he does it, finishing out the trilogy on a high note. I don't want to have a new guy come in and go, I'm going to shake things up and do things differently. I think Rian Johnson's going to kill it with episode 8. He's already said he's brought in so much more new elements to this franchise, and apparently Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm has just loved it because they haven't had to reshoot it. So, and we'll see it in December. I can't wait. Can't wait to see what he does, and hope he does episode 9.
Yeah. I once again, I like Ron Howard, but he's Johnson's been writing on it, and there's really the issue. You want the guy who has the vision to write.
Yeah.
He would be also the guy that shoots. Some of the greatest directors are also people who worked on the screenplay.
Writer producers.
Yeah. And those usually are the films that we talk about decades later. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think everyone is happy with that, but once again, refocus. Still, once again, I feel like this is getting ahead of a curve.
Yeah.
Because of all the hiccups along the way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Again, we don't want to hit that Han Solo itis, if you will, and kick him out all the way through production. Like, no, we don't like what you did. Thanks for wasting all of our film or digital film. Appreciate it. Bye bye.
Yeah, is this going to be like a code word in the industry now? Don't pull a Han Solo in.
Yeah, I bet it's gonna be the Han Soloism.
Yeah, thank God they shot first.
Yeah, shoot first. Shoot first.
This guy. That's why he's here. That's why he's here.
Gonna be like.
That's why he was. Once again, that's why he was cool.
That's right.
He shot first.
He shot first, and in the original cut, he was the only one to shoot. So there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
However. We're going to change stories now that we've talked about this. Oh, you didn't get anything to say on it, did you? Rian Johnson on episode 9. Or did you?
Yeah, I mean, like I said in the first story, it kind of segues into that. Yeah. I think he's the front runner. I think they've dropped his name as him being the front runner. And from all we've been hearing about him trying to do something different with the Star Wars franchise, with The Last Jedi, I'm digging that. And if you can pull it off that well, then yeah, give him the finale.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It only seems right, especially for someone who has a unique directing and writing ability that Rian Johnson does. Just go and give it to the guy. If he's already going to make you millions and millions of dollars on one movie, you might as well try to double it up.
Yeah. That being said, try to keep some kind of competition about it. I don't like when people are quite anointed to take on a movie. So if you can get, like I said, maybe Ron Howard if he's not too busy with post-production on Han Solo. Maybe I'm not sure if he's now fully in the DC continuity, and of course I want him to do Batgirl, but I know Joss Whedon has always wanted to do a Star Wars movie. Yeah, I'm sure.
I think his style doesn't quite mesh.
You don't think so?
I don't think. If maybe on a TV show. Not that I'm saying Joss Whedon can. He's obviously doing more with the Justice League stuff, but I think the talents that he can bring to a screenplay and a director's sort of viewpoint, I think a TV show would much more be his jive.
No, like I said,
pacing wise, I definitely agree.
Yeah.
like I already given my top 2, but also just kind of just to throw this name out there. What do you think of J.J. Abrams coming back?
No, I don't think J.J.
on that one?
No, I think I was actually thinking about this. I don't think J.J. Abrams coming back would be a good thing. Now, he did an incredible job with The Force Awakens. Like, he brought Star Wars back to what it needs to be, and not some. I know the prequels were a thing or were made for much more younger audiences, obviously. But the progression of the prequels went from Episode 1, we had Jar Jar, to 2, where it got a little bit more intense, and you had Revenge of the Sith, where it was way more intense. That was kind of a good progression, and then J.J. Abrams comes in and makes all that kind of nonsense kid stuff kind of go away. They have some jokes like you need to have in Star Wars, but didn't overdo it. But I think he took a lot of things for granted, and he changed some lore, a little bit, which is okay, that's what we needed. But as far as getting like the actual like nitty gritty true fanisms back into it that we kind of want to see, I think Rian Johnson or someone who's really good at doing character story like producing or directing was something more we need, especially with storylines like Rey or Kylo. We need somebody who can do those storylines a little bit more deeper. Than
Granted, it was more of a, I would say, adaptation than a continuity, but I think that J.J. Abrams might have a sequel problem.
He played it safe.
No,
which is fine.
But with J.J., I'm like, no, I'm actually moving on to a different franchise.
Okay.
Because I think with J.J. Abrams, I feel like that he might have a sequel problem, because I feel like with Star Trek Into Darkness, that one was more of a just remake of Wrath of Khan.
Right.
In a sense, and he didn't do anything new, so he might have a sequel problem. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Maybe that's true.
That's why he.
Who did the third one?
I
know Simon Pegg helped write
Justin
it.
Lin.
Okay, I know Simon Pegg helped write it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe I just.
Did you get Simon Pegg to help write it?
That would be interesting, because he's also and he's also a huge Star Wars fan. Him and Nick Frost, they did that little short Star Wars thing together, and it was phenomenal. Like it was so great. It was so hilarious. It was so Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. It was great.
But those are the sounds you're gonna make.
Exactly. Well, you can't understand. It's lovely stuff.
But I take it there's not going to be an online edition to get George Lucas to
No, he has his billions. He has his input, but they're going to be like, thanks, George. So maybe not that dramatic, but it'll be along those lines. Our next story, we're going to go and kick into the next story. Nice, choppy segue there. But Empire magazine has actually come out with a new image and a story that just came out yesterday. For the Last Jedi and some stuff, but the image that they came out with is really kind of fun. It gives you a nice image of Canto Bight. I've said it right this time.
Canto Bight.
We got some really good image of Rose, and we have Finn kind of looking at each other intensely. Maybe something's about to go down. They're both in their Resistance outfits. They're not even in their disguises yet. He's still got on the jacket.
I totally forgot to look this one up beforehand. So.
Oh,
I was working.
It's okay. We all have day jobs. But in the background, you see a lot of cool new aliens. You have like a space dog type thing, and you have
the gaming tables. But I want to see.
I immediately thought of blackjack. I was like, blackjack. All right, we got this down.
Something special better happen if someone gets blackjack.
Exactly.
Come on, look at the technology here. Something special better happen.
Exactly. And there was an alien that kind of caught my attention. Hello, Boba Fett. That was sort of reminded me of I can't. Is it the Mondoshuan from Fifth Element? Those robot character guys that kind of slow walking humps at the beginning of the movie. There was something that looked like that, but it was like a fleshy thing instead of a robot. It was kind of like just to the left of Rose, and it had a small head, and the armor or the decoration it looked very similar to that. I wonder if Rian Johnson had inspiration for an alien that was similar to that.
I mean, George Lucas put E.T. in Episode 3, so
exactly.
maybe it's the same thing.
Yeah. He won't actually admit it was E.T., but it is what it is.
It was E.T.
So, for somebody who didn't see the image, are you interested in seeing it now that I've described it to you, there, James?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
This is an official picture. It's not even a behind the scenes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like the idea. I've already cocked. You're good to go.
Yeah. Bang.
Yeah. Oh, you're ready to rock and roll. But yeah, I want to see the gaming table. I want to see the new aliens, and I'm curious that they are continually highlighting this new character of Rose.
Yeah,
she is getting a lot of attention.
Yeah, she was a big player at Celebration too.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking.
Why would you randomly bring me out a mechanic?
Yeah. It's like, does she have some kind of secret backstory kind of going on?
Is she a spy for the Empire or the First Order?
Man. Oh, hey,
yeah. I've been like doing deep web readings of all those possibilities.
Or like on one of the previous shows that you missed, we were talking about, will Finn die? Like,
right. Yes.
Is she going to be the new scrappy big deal in the Resistance?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I didn't think about that one. I was more going for the angle she's a spy for the First Order.
But
go ahead.
Oh no, something that we covered, on rules of writing, which does not necessarily mean they will ever follow it. The rule of if a gun is brought into a room, the gun is going to be used.
Right, it's a tool. It's a plot point.
Plot point. The issue is when you have possible betrayal, because we were discussing, as he said, or you said, is she a spy for the First Order?
Right.
Well, the rule is, in general writing in pop culture, if you're a betrayer, you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
You're dead.
And that would be a great sort of side story for, I think, the side story for maybe a 2-movie arc from episode 8 to 9. Because we had in Empire, we had the big reveal of Vader being Luke's father, right? That was a big reveal. Maybe this is going to be a side twist. What a twist! Version of that. Not so much a father thing, but more of a, oh, by the way, we got all this information on the Resistance. Oh, by the way, I'm a First Order spy. Thanks for your stuff.
Kind of fits into a lot of the rumor mill that we were talking about, with the fact that in this upcoming film, the Resistance is apparently getting their teeth kicked in.
Right. This is the
question is
the middle movie always, right?
Why? That's the bridge movie. That's where the darkness comes in. That's where the hope for the future comes in.
Yep.
The question is, why is the Resistance getting their teeth kicked in?
Yeah, it's it's the First Order is supposed to be a better version of the Empire, much more resilient, a lot more firepower, as we've covered their ships and vehicles and stuff. They're supposed to do everything better than what the Empire did, and where their failures were. They're supposed to be much better.
Yeah, try to learn from your mistakes,
exactly.
guys.
This one goes to 11.
Except for when it comes to making a whole new Death Star.
Well, it got blown up. See, that didn't work so well. See, now they have to rethink their tactic.
But after 2 got blown up previously, you couldn't think ahead of that.
No,
they didn't think it was possible to happen again. Surely.
Third time's the charm, okay?
Surely. It's like the castle in the swamp. No, it fell over, we built on top of it. It fell over, then we built on top of it. Yeah.
But the third one stayed up.
That's what it seems like with these guys.
That one burnt down, fell over, and then it fell into the swamp. But that third one. Anyway, but yeah, no, I think with the casino stuff going on in the background, with new aliens, I think this movie is gonna kill it with new lore and new interesting side characters. Because what Empire did was it brought in Boba Fett. It brought in a lot of bounty hunters that, seeing them in the movie, you're like, well, who is that guy? Who is that guy? What's that guy's story? It's going to create that same thing all over again. Because I know in The Force Awakens we got Maz Kanata, we got a lot of, we got Simon Pegg's character, what was his name? Ankar Plutt. We got a lot of these little side characters that we're like, well, how did this guy get here? Why is he in charge? Stuff like that. Or, that guy looks cool in the background. Who is he? I think this movie is going to be 10 times that size with how many new aliens we're going to get. I can't wait.
Well, also the fact that the whole cantina, we keep saying cantina.
Yeah.
The Copacabana, yeah.
Exactly, whatever, the bar.
There's definitely a higher element of espionage in this film. And the issue with espionage is any spy film, there's betrayal. There's duplicity, and you never fully know who's the bad guys and who are the good guys.
That's true. It could flip at any moment.
Yeah, just as long as Rose doesn't turn out to be like the new Dak, who's like, right now I feel like I can take on the whole Empire by myself, and then she dies.
Oh, Dak?
Yeah, Dak.
Oh, yeah.
Dak.
I was thinking of Wexley. Snap. I was thinking of Snap Wexley. He's in the... Never mind.
I don't understand that reference.
You haven't read Aftermath. But yeah, no. Snap is in the Force Awakens. He's just not well known unless you know who he is. But yeah, no. Thoughts on characters and new aliens in the last Jedi there, James.
Well, no, I'm kind of having fun. With your son teaching me the alphabet.
Yeah, he's good at the alphabet.
Good alphabet. But no, it's like I like the idea of side characters. I like the idea of spunky rebels or idealistic Imperials. You know, give us more people to kind of expand the universe.
Right.
Give us new people.
Exactly. No,
I'm in favor of new people.
Yes, expand out away from the small redneck universe. You know,
Get off the desert planets for. No one wants to go back to Jakku.
Yeah, why? Once again, back to deserts.
Yeah, it's like we went to Tatooine how many times in the prequels and in the sequel or the original trilogy?
We're going back there with Han Solo, which I'm okay with because he's. Also, Ron Howard tweeted out a really cool photo on Twitter.
I saw it.
Of a Cantina bar fight, which I wanted a few weeks ago. I said, "Give me a Cantina bar fight." So thank you, Ron Howard.
Yeah, it's a little blurry, which is what it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to give details away, but he's got to stop tweeting out photos. That's another story for another day.
Keep it coming.
But we'll switch it up. We'll go to the next story now. We've got Rian Johnson talks a little bit of Snoke. We got some Snoke news.
Snoke.
And if you went out there on Force Friday and got yourself some cool stuff, as you can see, I was able to do that randomly. I just happened to be at a Target on a Friday. You will notice that there was a Snoke pop figure, and he is not going to be a small little greased up guy in a little thing, which is a bummer because
very normal.
Yeah, he looked kind of lame in my opinion. I mean, the Emperor was a little, he looked creepy. He had that demeanor of like, I'm an evil guy, because you couldn't really see his face; he was half cloaked, and that's sort of the approach that Rian Johnson took while making the backstory for Snoke coming up in Episode 8. He's like, he did the same thing where he's a dark force, the scary thing behind the scary thing. I wasn't interested in explaining where he comes from. Where he comes from, or telling the story, except for where it fits the story, which I agree. I think having a mystery character with a mystery background is really good for headcanon, because you're like, well, maybe he's from here, maybe he's from here. And Yoda, we still don't know where the hell Yoda's from. He's been around since 1977. So, Sean, your thoughts on maybe we will not be seeing Snoke's past anytime soon?
I'm absolutely fine with that, mainly because just what you talked about, keeping things slightly vague helps build fan mythos.
Exactly.
And fan enthusiasm and all the aspects of and rumor mills and shows like this. But the issue is that, is it really necessary to move the story forward?
Right.
And if once again, as a writer, the issue is, if it's not, then it's not. You don't have it. It's really like, why do, I think it's this postmodern aspect, and especially post 2000 aspect, that we're so used to knowing everything immediately and absolutely, up until someone revises the Wikipedia page.
Until Google's not in your pocket.
Well, fact check your Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But there's some weird edits on there sometimes.
But the thing is, sometimes that's like the magician's trick, as I always use the line, don't piss away the magic.
Right.
It's the thing that allows you to have your own fantasy version of the story.
Yeah.
And it gives you ownership.
Yeah, I will second that. Now, I've been really reading into the new canon books. I'm actually only down 2 now from all the stuff that has come out. I have I'm in the middle of reading the new Leia book. I have about 20 chapters left. I'm going to immediately start the new Phasma book. Other than those 2, I have one more that I have not read as far as books are concerned. But even with those books explaining more and more and more, there's still some things that they don't explain. They're like, well, how'd that happen? I want to know how that happened. Or, they'll fill in some gaps like what I just said earlier about Snap Wexley. Like, who's that? Well, he's from a book, but at the same time, you kind of know where he comes from, but you don't know where he ends up. So that kind of is a fun thing.
Well, like Captain Phasma's getting her own comic now.
Yeah,
it starts with the aftermath of Force Awakens.
Yeah, and it's gonna the Phasma novel will take place before Force Awakens, and I'm reading that next. And I'll let you know how it is. So.
And also for the record, the kid is very good at uppercase, but he's got to work on his lowercase. He can't identify the lowercase letters yet.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
You try raising a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, whatever he is now.
You got to work on that, James.
No.
All right.
Damn it! He already memorized 26 letters and 29 different numbers.
That's right.
Anyway. James, your thoughts on keeping Snoke's backstory a mystery and how Rian Johnson came in and took that approach?
Yeah, don't fill in any blanks. Just let him be evil. Let him be the bad guy. Maybe, like, if you do give him a backstory, keep it kind of vague, like in episode 3 where they did the whole monologue from Palpatine about Darth Plagueis. Add some mystery to it, and then write a book about it later and fill it in.
But don't fill it in too much.
Yeah. Okay.
But I still like to have a little bit of mystery.
Exactly.
So.
I think everyone's in agreement like that, because otherwise it's going to come down to like Dr. Evil, where he talks about, I was ritually shaved, and then when I acted up, I was put in a burlap bag and beaten.
It's called a Belgian dip.
It doesn't. It makes villains look ludicrous.
Scott.
When you know everything about them, it's kind of like the mystery is the power. The power is the mystery, because you don't know what they're going to do.
I agree. No, that's how I like. That's how I hope they keep it. I hope episode 9 is not, we're gonna dive into Snoke's backstory. Look at us go.
Well, also you guys think about franchises. I mean, don't fill in the backstory. Just in 15 years, we're gonna get our own Snoke standalone movie. Man.
Which I'm actually okay with that, because it's 15 years later. There's a time and a place for everything, including prequels. Now, the time between Empire Strikes, Return of the Jedi, and Episode 1, that was many years. When we finally when it came out, it's like, this is going to be Darth Vader's backstory, and when how he grew up, which at the time sounded like a great idea. Look how the fans reacted later, like, this is kind of crap. But with that being said, I think this new generation of story grouping and having these excellent writers come in and excellent directors that they're going to get, maybe it is worthwhile in 15 years to get a Snoke movie. Who knows?
Yeah. Gosh, I wonder if Andy Serkis will still be motion capture performancing by then.
By that age, he'll just be Snoke.
Just be Snoke.
Yeah.
He would have resembles Snoke. Yeah.
Sean, your thoughts on this whole thing?
Well,
more further thoughts rather.
Actually, once again, it's like the issue. I know it's one of the side notes that we have, keeping back history hidden, because once again, I like the aspect of the mystery. And quite frankly, even if you do a movie further down the line, I don't think it would be a movie. I actually think
it'll probably be a comic book or something. Maybe
it'll be a comic book. I don't actually even see a novel. I see even in animated shorts.
Maybe I will say the new Vader comic. They're up to episode 5 or issue 5. Oh my God, is it fantastic!
Yeah,
it's so dark and it's so amazing, and it really does dive deep into the split between Anakin and Vader, like when he made that mental change, and it's phenomenal. It's great. But if they do it right like that, if they approach a Snoke backstory in the same way they approached this new Vader comic, and I know they've done Vader before, but this new approach is awesome, then I would be so down for that. Maybe not go too far back. Don't do a Han Solo like, this is Han Solo as a teenager, going through puberty. No, don't do that.
God, I just had an image of someone like with a white shirt and a black vest and a bad caterpillar mustache, holding a corsage, asking someone out to the senior prom. All the things you want to leave behind.
Hair in the face.
Hair in the face. All the things you want to leave behind.
Wait, what's the Collider version of bangs? Is it this? Is that bangs? Is that bangs?
I don't know. I never had hair. So.
Okay. I've seen one photo of you with hair, and I won't get into it.
I thought that was the salute from Third Rock from the Sun.
That also could be it. It's been such a long time since I've seen that movie. That TV show.
I missed that show.
But yeah, no, keep things secret.
Right.
That's always good.
But
on
that note, then we get to explore some writing about how to become Kylo Ren.
Yeah, that's a good segue.
Rian Johnson offered up the opportunity to apply his writing with a character that could argue the most complex Star Wars character we have seen yet. Johnson says writing Kylo Ren is just so much fun. Star Wars boils down the transition from adolescence into adulthood. It is something that has been explored, especially with Luke Skywalker's character.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, will The Last Jedi be Kylo Ren's movie? Will he finish what his grandfather started, which seems to be his personal quest?
I think so. I personally don't think he will. What was my whole thing is, what was Vader trying to do? Like, what did he start that he didn't finish?
He's trying to bring order to the galaxy.
No, Palpatine was.
But it's also the issue. Once again, you brought up with the split.
Right.
Is Kylo Ren actually thinking of Vader, or is he thinking of Anakin?
That's true. Like when he's talking to Vader's helmet in The Force Awakens, he it seems like he's talking to Darth Vader. He's talking to the Sith Lord that is Darth Vader and what he wants to become. Now, I like what you said. Is like, is he talking to Anakin? Maybe, and from what I've this far into the Leia book, because this is Leia's when she's a teenager, still a princess of Alderaan, right before the events of her getting on the Tantive for getting the plans for the Death Star, before Rogue One, and they have some slight hints at people might know who she is. Now maybe someone figured out that, obviously at this point in time he knows who his father or grandfather was. But maybe he didn't know that he eventually flipped back to the light side. Maybe he doesn't know that yet. And I don't know, I feel like maybe, I didn't think about that angle of him maybe talking to him as Anakin before he split when he's talking. I don't know, it's whole thing's baffling me. I'm going to switch over to James before I gather my thoughts. What do you think on this?
What's the question again?
Will Kylo Ren?
Well, yeah.
Oh,
will Kylo Ren
Ren
finish what his grandfather started, and will Episode 8 be Kylo Ren's movie?
Well, I mean, I think that in a way he's already the most interesting character. I think that in the wake of, well, no pun intended, but in the wake of The Force Awakens,
right,
people are like, where is his arc going to go? Is this guy eventually going to go back to being more of a good guy where we see the error of his ways, or is he going to be permanently bad? Obviously what he does in the movie makes you think he'll be permanently bad. Yeah. But I don't know. It's like he's... You know that you found a good bad guy when you found someone that people are almost rooting to come back around to you. Yeah. So I do kind of hope we see more of his internal struggle.
I think we will.
I also hope Leia, chastises him and puts him in timeout for what he did in the last movie. Do some extra parenting in there.
Yeah, I think that's only fair.
Yeah.
I kind of see where he does flip back to the light side, and I hope he flips to the light side and Rey stays on the light side. Yeah. Because I think their balance would bring balance to the Force. Because when you have 3 Jedi, right? You have Luke, you'll have Kylo, and you'll have Rey. But there needs to be balance to the Force. Then you'll have Supreme Leader Snoke, and you have Hux. So you still have a little bit of balance there. They may not be Force sensitive, but they're still evil. Right. And the Force is all encompassing and all binding. So who knows?
Maybe it's also the issue of maybe Snoke is that powerful.
Maybe.
And he does have a powerful navy.
Yeah, the First Order Navy is as we've covered, you guys covered in the last couple of weeks shows, those new ships are massive.
Massive creations.
Yeah.
With some design issues, but it's the fact also Luke, still has that air about him of stepping away, where you have these 2 younger knights, Jedi Knights. I still think of them as Jedi Knights.
Yeah, basically.
That are really seeking to be active and have a direct hand in shaping things. So if anything, Luke could be actually taken out of the equation, so it's 2 on 2. Yeah. 2 forces of darkness, 2 forces of evil, with one guy standing in the middle.
Like what any Sith does, they always have an extra apprentice somewhere that they're hiding from their master, right? So maybe maybe that Snoke actually has a separate apprentice other than Kylo that they're hiding, that they're going to bring out at a later date. Now that's probably unlikely, but at the same time, maybe it is. So.
Well, it's also the fact that there's obvious tension between Kylo Ren and Snoke. Yeah. The question is, how much of an apprentice is Kylo Ren, and how much mentorship is he really getting? Yeah. Because the fact is, he was willing to strike out and try to get Rey to come over to learn from him.
Exactly. Yeah.
He wanted to snatch her away for his own reasons.
And how much of the training did he actually get from Luke before he actually switched over to Kylo or to Snoke? So I mean, his pull from the light side to the dark side could, you could almost call it superficial, other than the fact that he killed his dad. But with that being said, I'll put a spoiler where if you haven't seen Force Awakens.
Yeah, I mean,
even I
only made $2 billion.
Yeah, even I have seen it. Okay, guys, even I have seen it.
Exactly. So, could he be redeemed? I mean, Vader came back to the light after icing a bunch of kids. So,
which I still boggles my mind. But
but they're trying to the countless number of Imperial officers he force choked.
Whatever, they're officers. But all the sand people he murdered in cold blood and all that other stuff. Because I don't know if y'all knew this, but he actually goes back to another Sand People village on Tatooine and kills them too.
What?
Yeah.
This is a hobby, you know.
Yeah. He decided that they didn't deserve to live because he was having flashbacks of his mom. He was like, I'm just gonna kill all of them now again.
Make the nightmares stop.
Exactly, but you know he didn't. So.
Yeah, it's just for me, you know, it's something that I always ponder, being, you know, the history guy, is that, you know, this is very much the hero's journey. You know, the Campbellian influence that Lucas has always cited.
Who's the hero? Who's the hero?
Who's the hero? And number two, as I keep citing about betrayal, you know, there's only one punishment in betrayal.
Right.
And also, then there's the greater sin of killing your own father.
Yeah.
And if you look at Greek tragedies and all this, how many times is that scenario played out? You've got Zeus killing his father Kronos, which means he is, according to the oracles, going to be overthrown by one of his children. And then you have all these other plays in the Greek literature that's influenced the West, and even Asia they have plays in the West, where the son inadvertently destroys the father. And so you have Kylo Ren, who actively killed his father. So that's kind of the huge betrayal, is like, how do you walk that back? Like I said, you slaughtered all these younglings. How does this walk back to where you get back to life? Still have issues with this.
Oh, because he kills the Emperor.
Oh.
That's what it was. See?
I actually saw a...
Maybe we'll get a similar situation where he picks up Snoke, who is going to be this big, right? And
no matter what they say.
Yeah. Down at...
I actually saw a fan theory a while back that said that Han Solo was the one that wanted to die, and so he's the one who actually ignited.
I heard that fan theory too.
Saber.
And I don't buy it.
Yeah. Well, I don't buy that it was Han Solo. I do buy that it was Harrison Ford. Like, get me out of this damn franchise.
No, do you know how much money he's made on this stinking franchise?
Just kill me already.
He made more in that movie than I'll probably make in a lifetime. So
quite possibly.
Speaking of
surprise lightsaber.
Speaking of Kylo Ren, it's got some Kylo Ren saber.
Exactly. No.
Watch out, James. Might be here to kill you.
That's fine.
You know, in a lot of ways, would it be cool for him to do, you know, like a...
I'm an Old Republic Jedi, which means I can catch lightsaber blades.
Oh,
no
good.
problem.
Good.
No problem.
What about the rest of us, though?
You're on your own.
It would be cool to see him do something, you know, but I don't want it to be a repeat exactly of what happened with Vader and the Emperor.
And that's kind of what they did in The Force Awakens. They kind of played it safe and kind of get a rehashing of A New Hope a little bit. So, yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, so we'll hope for something unique here.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be all completely wrong.
Yeah, maybe they're gonna go like in a complete other direction, and we're gonna watch some Netflix apparently. Well, before my child decides to destroy the entire office, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. My name is James Waddington. That's James on. I got Sean Sharp. And remember to like, share, subscribe. Hit this button here. It's the subscribe button, and please comment. Please comment, and please stay safe, Florida. Please stay safe, Florida, from all the hurricanes that are headed your way. Don't be silly. Don't be dumb. Stay safe, guys. Take care.
Take care. Good night.